Alrighty, g'day guys. So the aim of this video is to help you understand how to take meaningful notes when watching a video or reading a text or studying really anything. And this doesn't apply just to English, it applies to every single subject. Now, unless you're like me and you have a photographic memory, not really, I don't have one, most people struggle to remember things that they hear or read for the first time and only time. Now, I'm terrible at remembering people's names when I meet them for the first time. I have to get them to tell me 3 or 4 times before it actually sinks in, or I have to write it down and keep checking back on it. But the thing that I do a lot sometimes when I'm studying is that I read a text, but I don't actually take any notes, or I don't reread over the text as I'm reading it, and that's just basically doing something for nothing. And with the senior course, senior English course, and senior study just in general, you need to get good at taking notes, especially with these earlier lessons, because the distance from the exam is much longer from the area of study right now compared to what it is with the other modules. So we need to get good at doing this, and it's a life skill to have. So those are a few reasons why, and here's a few tips on how you can do it. So number 1, goal. You need to know the goal for why you're writing. So before you read something, you need to know what is your purpose for taking notes. What are you trying to get from the text or get from the video? And that'll help you take some good notes and avoid taking notes that aren't really necessary. 2, key. Write down keywords and key phrases that is said or written in the text, and avoid the other words that aren't so important, like the ands, the thes, the ofs, or the in-between words. You're going to pick out the keywords because it'll jog your memory of the text. 3, keep it short. Keep it short. The shorter your notes, the shorter-hand your notes, the easier they are to read, and I think the easier they are to jog your memory on the text that you've just read. 4, personalize. So write some of the notes in your own words. Don't just copy down what the speaker is saying word for word, but put them into your own words, or put some phrases into your own words to help you understand what you've understood from the text. And that ties in with number 5, which is conclusions. So make your own conclusions from what you read. Don't just take down the conclusions of the writer, but genuinely think about the notes that you've taken at the end or through the middle of it. Think about the goal, and then combine those two together, draw some conclusions. So if your goal is, well, to find out more about discovery, well, in your own words from the text you've just read, write down, what have you just learnt from discovery? Now, just to help you out even more than this, I'm going to be giving you guys what I'm going to call a cue sheet. And basically just a whole list of sentence starters that are designed to help you take different notes while you're reading a text. So if you're struggling to kind of think of the ways to put some of your notes into your own words, these cue sheets will give you some sentence starters that will kind of guide you in the kind of thinking that you should have when you're drawing conclusions from the text. I'm going to be using these in class to take notes on some texts, but you can also obviously do them for any note-taking activities in any single class. Now I'm going to model what I mean by taking notes, and I'm going to play a short video over the top of this, a video by Karen Yeager. And the goal for me is to take notes about the concept of discovery. So what is it? What does this person say about discovery? And what does it mean in my own words? Those are my goals for this note-taking activity. So the video is going to play, and I'm going to put notes up on the screen as well as we're going, just to kind of show you how I want you to use this concept.
My name is Karen Yeager, and I'm the Dean of Studies at Knox Grammar School, and I'm President of the English Teachers Association. I've been teaching for a long time, and I've been a head teacher of English, and I've also been a supervisor of HSC marking. So I'm bringing many of the HSC marking experience to you when I talk about how to do the area of study. So the area of study, as you know, is discovery. So we're actually going to start with unpacking the concept of discovery so that we see how to actually engage with it, because most of the HSC marking questions are going to come from your rubric. So that's where we're actually going to start with getting the notion of discovery. We're going to move through the rubric, and then we're actually going to look at the different types of discovery. So I thought I'd actually start with quite a well-known poem by Hollow, which is called Go and Open the Door. And why I'm starting here is that you need to think about how discovery is about exploration. It's about a catalyst that causes us to suddenly discover something about ourselves or the world around us or others. But the one thing you need to know about discovery is that you need to ensure that your mind is open. Carol Dweck talks about a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. A fixed mindset means that when you discover something new, you actually close your mind off and you can be quite inflexible about it. But a growth mindset means that you open your mind to the possibilities. Your curiosity is peaked and you actually want to know what's out there. So if we have a look at this poem, and I'm only going to pick out little bits of it, I'm sure your teachers have probably shown you this. Look at the imperative from the start. Go and open the door. Maybe outside there's a tree or a wood, a garden or a magic city. And if I jump forward, let's have a look at the second last one. Go and open the door even if there's only the darkness ticking, even if there's only the hollow wind, even if nothing is there. Go and open the door. At least there'll be a draft. He's urging us to embrace discovery, as you will need to do if you're going to do well in the HSC and in fact in your school assessments. You need to look at the different characters you encounter, the personas you encounter in poetry, the characters you might find in film. And so you have to consider what do they discover and why, and what are the consequences or ramifications of that discovery. So what I love is to look at the first quote on the top, the compulsion to see what lies beyond that far ridge of that ocean or this planet is a defining part of human identity and success. We're all driven to discover. It's our perspective, it's our experiences, it's our assumptions that determine how we respond. And it's all about curiosity. And if you look at curiosity, it's actively exploring your environment. It's asking those important questions, thinking about possibilities, and even that sense of wonder and doubt that we need. Cicero referred to curiosity as a passion for learning. And it's the root cause for discovery. So when you're encountering your texts, you're unpacking them, and more importantly, writing your own creative writing texts, you need to think about how do I embed this notion of the human condition? Considering what Hamlet said, what piece of work is a man? So it's that notion of what makes us do what we do. What makes us go to Mars, for example, and think about living there and maybe never returning? Or what makes Shakespeare investigate the human condition in the late 1500s and early 1600s?
Feel free to pause the video here. I've just written down a few conclusions on the notes straight after I've finished taking notes for the video, which I can use later on for study notes or just to remind me what the main ideas were from the video. Now I encourage you to give this a go and to see what you come up with when you're reading a text or watching a video.